Now, this is something that has more to do with modern times. And this is something that is an American thing. Church and state. Technically speaking, Christianity is largely separate from the government in which Christians are signed. And most predominantly Christian countries are quote-unquote democracies. A lot of them are technically republics, just like the U.S., because the U.S. really isn't a democracy. The U.S. is a republic. But it is a democratic republic. But yeah. However, it is important to note that that is a recent development. Not even 300 years old. And for the longest time, the church and the government were linked. Remember this, who was it that gave kings the right to rule? It was the church. So, I'm just saying. Now, in Islam, for the most part, in most predominantly Muslim countries, the two are integrated. The government and the church are symbiotic and or one. And a lot of those countries are dictatorships. I'm not sure this has anything whatsoever to do with Christianity or Islam. The only reason I'm bringing it up at all is because this is something we in America want to say, well, that's what Muslims are, and that's what Islam teaches. And I have to kind of chuckle and laugh at that. Because the whole idea of a monotheistic religion in which a hierarchy is established really isn't a democratic thing. Now, I'm not attacking any religions here whatsoever. I'm just saying there's a certain evolution of humanity that goes along with that. And at times, I'm not too sure the U.S. is going to really stay a republic indefinitely. So, yeah. I don't think this has anything whatsoever to do with Islam, but it is a fact to acknowledge. I'm not going to paint any religion in a holier-than-thou light. It's not the type of person I am. As far as the law goes, again, this is a recent development. In Christianity, and the reason I'm bringing these topics up is because the next thing I'm going to cover here is extremists. Generally, Christians recognize that the law is restricted to legal matters. However, I think all those people running around going, God hates gays, and abortion should be illegal, and evolution shouldn't be taught in school, and yada 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 and so forth, are pretty adamant that the Bible should be the law of the land. I think they're pretty adamant about that. Why I'm bringing these points up. Because in a lot of Islamic countries, the law covers both moral and legal matters. I'm bringing this up because the people who hate Muslims are the Christian extremists that think we've lost our way by the Bible not being the law of the land. And yet their big problem with Muslims is that in parts of the world, the Qur'an is the law of the land. Am I the only one whose head that makes spin? Again, more like than they care to admit. There's a lot of common ground there to build peace on top of. A lot of it. Believe in God. When they become extremists, they do the same stupid things. They make the same absurd interpretations. Both believe in Jesus. Both believe Jesus is in heaven. Both believe in turn the other cheek. Both believe an eye for an eye. Damn, there's a lot of similarities here. Okay, the rest of this stuff is a little too complex to get into in this part, so we'll get into it in the second part here.